And welcome back, everyone, to Pokemon Team Creation Series. This one comes from my own personal list, and I've done Ty. We'll get through all of the Digidestined at some point. And so we're up to Matt now. Matt from Digimon, the brother of TK, his partner Gabumon, crest of friendship, and apparently he became an astronaut. And because I was looking that up, I'm like, well, I gotta add that on the team. But what would him as a Pokemon trainer look like? And we start with any Digimon character, particularly a Digidestined. We got to look at their partner. That's their ace, well, their partner. That's their starter, all that. So the question is, what is a Pokemon equivalent to Gabumon? Now, Gabumon, I don't have a picture of him right now, obviously, but Gabumon is this little yellow lizard Digimon. That's right, he's actually a reptile Digimon. But wears this wolf fur coat that looks like Garurumon's fur, because he's very shy about what he looks like underneath that. And he doesn't want to show anyone that. Only in the most extreme circumstances will Gabumon actually take their coat off. Like, for example, when he keeps Matt warm at one point from getting nearly frozen. And I think, okay, a Pokemon that is shy, wants friendship, hides itself. And I'm like, well, man, he's been coming up a lot lately. Mimikyu. Gabumon, well, not in terms of like design per se, in concept though, even though he dresses up as Pikachu because he's jealous of Pikachu, Mimikyu actually fits the mold pretty well for a Gabumon stand-in. It hides its true form. Now, mind you, it's a ghost type that if you watch it, you'll probably die. Look at it, you'll probably die. But it hides its true form. It's still very powerful in its own right too, but it's just looking for people to love it. So that actually kind of works. Now to balance it out a little bit, I also still wanted to throw it in between the Digivolution cycle, which is kind of how I like to do it a little bit when I do a Digimon characters. We have his relationship with TK. He's a very maternal guy, takes care of his brother, very protective of him. But I'm like trying to think, okay, is there a Pokemon I can use that's kind of like that? And I mean, I went with Kangaskhan. Now, Kangaskhan is obviously a mother with a kid in her pouch. So that's a mon where I'm like, okay, it's not the exact same, but I thought a bit more. Matt's had to act a bit more like a parent at points than a lot of the other kids because of the situation with his home life. Dad works late. I believe his mom and dad are divorced. So he kind of has to act as a surrogate parental figure for TK. So this actually, I think, adds up. And I can even see, like, as a trainer, a similar scenario. If their stories were somewhere in the world, that Kangaskhan would be there to take care of them if need be. But then I get into the champion form, Garurumon. And I was actually very surprised to find out, and shocked, and not shocked, but I'm like, there really isn't a good Garurumon Pokemon. Garurumon is a blue wolf with tiger stripes that breathes ice. So in my head, I'm like, okay, an ice-type dog Pokemon. That's easy. There is no ice-type dog Pokemon. Like, you go through every single region. Think of every regional dog there is. There is no ice-type dog. There isn't. Now, this is one of those things where normally I don't care about, like, power level as long as it represents it. But I did want to try to make the evolution, at least when I'm talking about our evolution, kind of escalate. Like, Mimikyu's a decent Pokemon. Not amazing, but decent. And then the ultimate is much stronger than him. But then I'm like, okay, how do I do? And then the Mega is something even more powerful than that. But I'm like, the only thing that fits for the champion is the mon that's about to come up. And I just finally said, you know what? I don't normally worry about that. I worry for the best fit. So, your Garurumon stand-in, Suicune. It is the closest thing to a dog, an ice dog, because it can learn things like Ice Beam and Aurora Beam that we have. Now, it is a legendary beast Pokemon. It's not a cat, and it's not a dog. It's kind of something in the middle there. It does have leopard-like traits, but also has clearly canine-like form as well. So, it is kind of both a little bit. So, it's the closest that we have to a Garurumon, unfortunately. But, that being said, his ultimate form, Were-Garurumon, that's a lot easier to do, because it's pretty much just a combat werewolf. However, I did not go Lycanroc Midnight form. I went with Mega Lucario on this. Now, why did I go Mega Lucario? One, Garurumon is a melee fighter. He's a fighting type. If the Digimon was a Pokemon that has Pokemon typings, he'd at minimum be a fighting type. I mean, he does have an energy attack with his claws. He does energy stuff, but still. So my initial thought was, I'll go Lucario. It's a fighting type. It's got steel claws on it. It can use Aura, so it can use similar attacks like that. It's a friendship evolution, which he is the crest of friendship, Matt. And I went beyond that with Mega Lucario, not for Metal Garurumon, but to go with Gabumon crest of friendship Digivolution. Because the Mega Evolution, you Digivolve through a strong bond. You Mega Evolve with a strong bond with your Pokemon. And so, here we are. So, I think that actually kind of fits perfectly. And it's a blue dog. So there you go. Now, as I said, he did end up becoming an astronaut, as it turns out. And he had a kid with Sora, of all people. So, ultimately, I decided, let's throw a space Pokemon in there, like space-ish, spins from space, or it's from a different planet, different world, just to say this is a Pokemon he caught later in life. Clefable. I could have gone Behem, I could have gone Deoxys, I could have gone any plethora of Pokemon that kind of work, but I just decided to go with an old classic here. So, yeah, Clefable. I went with Clefable! And, Matt's someone who wouldn't care that he's got a pink girly-ish Pokemon on his team. Clefables can be tough, man. But then finally, Metal Garurumon, the Mega form, the armored, almost cybernetic wolf that just fires missiles and all that. Well, clearly we don't have a Pokemon that does that, but what we do have is a steel wolf Pokemon in Zacian, a legendary Pokemon that would be probably the equivalent, at least in the Pokemon world, of a Mega. And now, mind you, it uses a sword, but it's the more offensive between it and Zamazenta, so I went with that. So that's your team for Matt. How balanced is this team? Surprisingly, it's a really balanced team. It's got a couple weaknesses. No team's perfect. It's got 2 times weakness to fighting when it comes to both Lucario and Kangaskhan. 2 times weakness to fire, weirdly enough, with your 2 steel types, Lucario and Zacian. 2 times weakness to ground with both the steel types again. And a 2 times weakness to steel with your fairy type, with your 2 non-steel fairies, Clefable and Mimikyu. But what it has in a few weaknesses, it more than makes up with in its strengths, because it has a times 2 strength against fairy with the steel typings, times 2 strength against fighting with the fairy your 3 fairy. That was supposed to be 3 fighting. I don't know why. Did I miss one? Yeah, I missed one. Sorry about that. It does have a times 3 strength against fighting with your 3 fairy types. It's got a times 2 strength against ice with your fighting type with your 2 steel types. Times 3 strength against rock with your fighting, your steel, but also your water type. A times 4 strength against dark, with the only 2 mon not being able to do anything against dark types is Suicune and Kangaskhan. And a times 3 strength against dragon with your 3 fairy types. And if you want to get technical, Lucario can resist dragon because it's a steel type. So it looks good for this team. How good? Well, let us talk about this, folks. Could you become champion of all the regions in Pokemon? No. But you can become a champion of a lot of them. Kanto, honestly, there is no gym leader or Elite Four member in Kanto that is going to give you any real difficulty. The biggest difficulty you might get, and I mean might get, is maybe with Sabrina. That's about it. I mean, you still got a ghost type on the team. You've got only 1 mon who's weak to psychic. Yeah, you've got 2 mon that are weak to fire when you go to see Blaine, but then you got Suicune on the team as a legendary water type, so you should be fine. Same against Giovanni. Then you can honestly deal with the Elite Four without too much difficulty. Agatha's poison types mean nothing against the 2 steel types. Lance, it literally has 3 dragons that are going to get clipped by 3 fairies. And honestly, then it comes to blue. Pidgeot is going to just, get rid of the skies. You're going to deal with damage you can to Pidgeot. Then you just swap in for either Zacian or Kangaskhan because it can learn Dark-type moves or whatever. Take it down. The Alakazam be take down next. The Rhydon you can swap into for any one of these. And honestly, you can clear the remaining 3 without that much difficulty. be it the fire type, the water type, or the grass type. The only one you might struggle with a little bit is the fire, but just swap into Suicune and you're good. And Suicune should have naturally, I believe, learns Aurora Beam, which means you can take down the grass type without too much difficulty either. So yeah, you could become the champion, Kanto. You could also easily, I'm not joking, easily become the champion of Johto. Yes, Faulkner's dual normal flying types pose a little bit of problem for Mimikyu early on, but it can still learn Scratch, and if you need to, Wood Hammer. So really, you just need to outlast him a little bit. It might take a couple tries, but you can do it. And then Kangaskhan, even though you have a Fairy type, which is actually not good against Bug. Neither is Ghost, ironically. You still should have enough, capabilities to take down Bugsy. You should be fine against, because you have a legendary team, against Whitney. And at that point now, you're kind of just sweeping through a lot of these guys. Kangaskhan, for example, can learn Crunch pretty early on, like in the 20s, so you should be able to hit on Morty, no problem. You'll have two fairies and a fairy ghost, as well as a mega evolution at that point, so you should be good for most of the gyms, including Claire, which again, 3 fairies against dragons. And honestly, the only Elite Four member that gives you any problems is Koga. Now, that being said, Koga does give you some problems. While you are immune to the poison typing, at least for 2 of your mons, he's still got several bugs, which you actually don't have a good answer for on this team. He's still got Fortress, which is a bug steal, Muck, very durable poison type, Crobat, flying poison that's faster than anything on this team. It wouldn't be easy to take him down. Now, you will luckily be immune to any poison shenanigans he throws out. Even if, like, say, Fortress explodes, as long as you got one of your steel types out, you should be okay. It wouldn't be easy. Like, I definitely foresee Mimikyu and Clefable dropping in this fight and Kangaskhan going shortly after. But your big 3 hitters, Suicune, Lucario, and Zacian, should get the job done. You'll have to heal up afterwards. And at that point, then, you can go through Bruno, no problem. Karen, frankly, is still Dark-type trader. You should be fine. Even though she's still got Vileplume and Gengar on the team. She still should be fine. And then, honestly, Lance is really kind of a pushover comparatively. I mean, you will have to deal with Charizard, so be sure to, because Charizard will take out these two. So if he switches to the Charizard, you make sure Suicune takes that thing down. Because if Suicune doesn't take the Charizard down, you'll have a problem then. You will have a problem. Otherwise, you're fine. Cynthia. No joke. You could beat Cynthia. But the catch on that is you'd first have to get through Rorik. Not entirely sure you can. He has Digimon on his team. In fact, if I look at the strongest version of Rorik real quick here, who would be, I believe, the Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl version, his team is in the mid-teens. I want to say he's Cranidos either level 14 or 15, which means at best you can have a level 17 Mimikyu. Now, the reason I say at best is because, like I said, we're doing this to see how good the team is. If you overlevel any mon, then it kind of defeats the point. It's like, well, I beat him with a Jigglypuff at level 50. Like, well, that's because you raised that freaking Jigglypuff to level 50. That's why you won. Yeah, I could beat Brock with a Rattata at level 100. Like, that's the point, is to freaking actually do it properly, but still, give a little bit of wiggle room. So let's see here. You can learn Shadow Sneak, but it's a physical move. You don't have any special moves for Mimikyu, frankly, at all. Wow, I didn't even realize this, but Mimikyu does not naturally learn any physical or special moves. That's a problem. Now, luckily though, if you catch it, there is an ace in a hole on this, which is why I think you can beat him. Mind you, though, there comes with a big catch. Mimikyus can actually naturally, and I don't know why since Gen 9, or at least as of Gen 9, learn Wood Hammer. Now, mind you, you might want to say that as like a last resort kind of thing, because otherwise but to be fair, then all you have really is the ghost version of Quick Attack. I'm going to be honest, that's not freaking enough. And then the problem there is, even if you have Wood Hammer, yeah, you might knock out the first guy, but you're going to lose that disguise really quick, and you're gonna just take recoil damage. And then you got the old Cranidos who hits like a freaking truck. So unfortunately, while you could beat Cynthia, I don't think you get past Rourke with a Mimikyu. I don't think you can do that. Now that being said, in Unova, I forgot Hoenn. My bad. Hoenn. Honestly, I think it's a hard maybe because honestly, you can get through all the gyms, even Roxanne. Well, I think not too much. Although Roxanne's nose pass has a high defense, again, you're kind of stuck at using. But I think she has a lesser team than Rourke. Like her base team in Ruby and Sapphire is just a Geodude and nose pass. Emerald, they give her I think 2 Geodudes. So either way though, let's just assume you can. You can actually make it all the way through the Elite Four. Even Drake, who's normally a problem, wouldn't be a problem for 3 very powerful Sperries on the team. But then you got to deal with Steven, and that's tricky because Steven starts off with Skarmory. And he's going to start off with Toxic. He's not going to start, he's going to throw spikes, do Toxic, then he's going to start attacking. So that Mimikyu isn't going to have enough power to really do much, unfortunately. And then you're in a pickle. You could try using Aurora Beam on Skarmory, I suppose. But Skarmory, or Kangaskhan can learn, it has Crunch. But I think you should save that for when Claydol comes out. Speaking of which, Aggron will come out next. This time you can bring out Lucario, Mega Evolve it, take it down. Claydol comes out next, switch into Kangaskhan, use Dark-type moves. You should be able to take it down. Then you have Lileep. You can switch, probably honestly just switch back into either Zacian or Lucario, take that down. Anorith, you don't have a strong answer for, but you can still go with Zacian with the Steel-type move. And then Metagross. And that one Mega Evolves in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Metagross might be a problem. So it's a matter of basically getting past that damn Skarmory is the problem. Because Mimikyu is not going to be able to do it. It's just not going to be able to. That's why I'm going to maybe on Hoenn. Unova, real short and sweet. You can get past all the gyms in Elite Four in both versions. In Black and White 2, you can definitely become the champion because Iris is a Dragon Trainer and you have 3 fairies on the team plus a Mega Evolution. That's part Steel. So yeah, you can become champion in Black and White 2. However, I don't think you can beat Alder. Mimikyu, you'd leave with Mimikyu. He has a Selgor, which means he's going to use Bug Buzz, take that disguise. You're going to get a hit in on it. Great. Then it's probably going to take the Mimikyu down without too much difficulty. To be honest, it's just Mimikyu doesn't have the best defensive stats. And then you're probably going to want to bring out a Steel type, so you bring out Lucario. Great, wonderful. Then you probably bring it down. And then he's going to bring out Volcarona. Yeah, he's going to bring out that thing early because you have a Steel type on the field that is just waiting to be killed. And he's going to set up a Quiver Dance. If you can't take him down after that Quiver Dance, get the hell out of there fast. Because otherwise, that thing is dying and dying quick. Unfortunately, though, Lucario, even naturally, doesn't learn any move. And remember, I don't go with TMs because you could just make a Mon do anything with TMs. Lucario doesn't really learn any moves that are naturally good against either fire, except for maybe Boomerang. If you have Bone Meringue, maybe you could take it down, maybe. But that's assuming you got Boomerang. Probably wouldn't. So Lucario is either going down or you swap it in for, say, Suicune. And then he's setting up probably another Quiver Dance or something like that. And then he's probably Bug Buzzing or whatever. He's probably... If that Volcarona goes off, you're done. You're just done. You do not have a good answer for it. The only thing you really have is Suicune. And if that thing, again, has already gotten Quiver Dances off, good luck to you. So, yeah, I would say you can't beat Alder, but you could beat Iris. Kalos, I'll be honest, I'm not sure you can get past Grant. Grant is like really strong for a second size gym leader. Like really strong. Yes, you have a fairy type. Yes, it has disguise, but honestly, you're gonna just take it's not like he uses a lot of dragon moves on that Tyrant anyway. And then you don't have any fighting moves to take care of the rock types either with Kangaskhan. So you're gonna be struggling hard against Grant. Everyone else, not so much, believe it or not. Although Karina would be a little difficult, but nothing serious. So the question is, do I think you stop at Grant? I don't think you stop at Grant. I still think there are avenues to win with Grant, but it's not easy. And then when it comes to the champion, yeah, you can beat Diantha with this team. You start with Mimikyu. The Hawlucha is actually going to be a little problematic because even though you're neutral to poison, thanks to the ghost typing, it's still going to hurt and you can still get poisoned. And he's going to set up Swords Dance. But you should have fairy moves under your belt at this point, like Play Rough, that can hurt it quite badly. So you should be okay. But then he's going to bring out Tyrantrum, and even with Play Rough, I mean, take that thing down. Which means then you go probably into Mega Lucario, deal with the rock typing, take down the Tyrantrum, take down the Aurorus. Probably go toe-to-toe with the Goodrod, probably take it down as well. The Gourgeist, though, you don't really have a firm answer there. So probably bring in Kangaskhan for the Dark-type moves, take it down. And then Mega Gardevoir comes out. It is tough. It's a strong mon, but you got a Steel-type, Fairy-type to basically kind of balance it out a bit. So I would say, yeah, I'd go you'd win against Diantha. Galar's a hard maybe, though, because it all comes down to how you deal with Leon. You can deal with all the other gym leaders fine. It's Leon that's the question. Because Leon starts with Aegislash. You start with Mimikyu. He's going to get rid of Mimikyu's disguise pretty easily. Mimikyu might take the Aegislash down, but Aegislash does overall have better stats. So if it's in the attack form, it's going to take down that Mimikyu. I also believe it's a little faster, too. I'm not mistaken. Actually, what is Aegislash's speed? That's a good question. Hold on one second. Because Mimikyu has a base speed. Come on, Sarah B. Come on, Sarah B. Hey, it's Sarah B. Sarah B, why are you being slow? There we go. Ghost. Okay. So yeah, it's got 96 speed. Like Mimikyu is fast, and it's got a nice butt in terms of special defense. Aegislash, though, is a weird one. Let's see, where are you, Aegislash? So, yeah, Aegislash is actually not that fast, but when it's in defensive form, it's got God knows how good defense is. However, its defense is it's attack and it's still got 50 attack, which is low, but not that low. And then it swaps for that 140 special attack and defense. So it's it's pretty good. Its typing is great. But Goldingo is actually better. It's just that King's shield ability that really or what Stance Chain's ability that kind of makes it difficult. But I think it would probably take the Mimikyu down. You'd probably bring out Kangaskhan next for the crunch, but then he'd bring out Dragon Ball, which he does. And while it wouldn't be affected by, say, like the Shadow Ball, Dragon Ball still has Thunderbolt, Dragon Breath, and Flamethrower under its belt. It's going to hurt the Kangaskhan a lot. And should note that it also, Dragon Ball has it's a pseudo-legendary, but it has 120. We're going to repeat that because it bears repeating. 120 attack, 100 special attack, and 142 special speed. What's surprisingly not that bad defense. Like it's got mid defenses 75, but not bad defenses. It's kind of described as a glass cannon, but it's actually not that glass of a cannon, which means it's probably even taking a crunch or a dark type move from Kangaskhan and then taking the Kangaskhan down. And this is where the big problem arises. You could probably go into Fable next and use like a Moonblast or something, but it's still going to take a hit. And if you're unlucky and get like a burn or worse, you get a paralysis, you're not in a good way. But it would still probably, correct, I'm going to check this right now. I believe Haxorus is faster then Clefable, I believe. It also has better stats. It's got God knows massive attack. Like Haxorus is known for that raw attack stat. Let me see here. Fracture. There we go. Stop it. It's got 97 speed. It's got good speed. Honestly, its defenses are probably the lowest thing. Its special defense is actually not as bad as its normal defense. Its special defense is 70 versus its normal 60. But yeah, 147 is just straight attack. This thing is a freaking cleaver. And then let's compare that real quick to Clefable, who's got, there we go, Clefable, who's got 60 speed, at best 95 special attack. Oh yeah, it's not taking that Haxorus down in one shot. Hell, I actually would be debating whether or not it's taking even the freaking Dragon Bolt down in one shot. So yeah, no, it will probably get Dragon's Ass off on it, and it's going to Earthquake and kill it. Which now puts you in a problem spot. Because Suicune, as fast as Suicune is, or as good as Suicune is actually, I think, not super fast. Like, it is a legendary. It does have, but it's a part of a group legendary. It's a trio legendary. It's not a main box legendary, despite what Crystal may make you believe. So it's got 85. So yeah, it's got 85 speed, which means Haxorus outspeeds it, and that thing's gonna hurt. Now it does have ice, so if it doesn't take the Suicune down, you can take it down that way. But that still leaves it up to where the inter-rotating group of Charizard, the starter, and the swapping mon. Well, luckily, all three of the just random mon, Seismitoad, Mr. Rhyme, and Rhyperior can be taken down by Suicune. But not every one of starters can. Inteleon and Rillaboom would take down the Suicune, but the Cinderace would get taken down. And then the Charizard comes in, though, and it's got great coverage. It would probably take the Suicune down. And now, those other guys would take the Suicune down. Lucario is probably your better bet against both of those other guys. Unfortunately, yeah, Charizard just kind of cleans up the rest. So while Leon is a really drawn-out fight, I would say at best it's a maybe. Only because the circumstances between Clefable all right, then. And last but not least, in Paldea. If you could make it to the champion, yes, you would win. But the question is, do you make it to the champion? I'm not 100% sure you do. You have no problem with Katie. Even with the bug resistances, you should be fine. You have no problem with Brassius. Should be fine. Suicune, Iono, however, is an electric-type gym leader. She has Wattrel, and then Miss Magius, which terrestrializes into electric and uses Hex. And Confuse Ray. Oh my god, that... Ugh. I'm going to tell you right now, and Charge Me. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think you can, because Suicune, as good as it is no good against his gym. No good against his gym. And it's funny, because in Kanto, you actually would probably be fine against Lieutenant Surge. But I think that's A, the level cap gets a bit higher there in Kanto. And B, I think his team isn't as dangerous. So overall, I don't think you'd be able to become the champion of Paldea, mostly because I don't think you can get past her. But that's just my opinion. Let me know what you think. Put in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And I'll see you next time. Later.